There is good news coming out of a horrifying story. A pregnant woman and her unborn child are expected to be okay even after being abducted, set on fire, and shot. The attack happened on the east side in Warren over the weekend. Police say the woman, who is only weeks away from her delivery date, had just pulled into a garage with her ex-boyfriend. But when they got out, the garage door suddenly closed and a man tied her up with duct tape and then drove off with her. The guy then stopped in an alley where he set her on fire and shot her in the back as she was trying to put the flames out.
He said, "You know why this is happening?" And then he asked her about how far along she was.
The woman's ex-boyfriend was taken into custody for questioning. She's in serious condition with burns to her back and head. However, an ultrasound shows the unborn child is still healthy. A man in Calhoun County dies a short time after police find him badly burned near his house. Now, an investigation is underway. It happened Monday around 9 p.m. Police responded to a call about a fire and tell us they found 41-year-old Marshall Lorenzo near a shed on his property in Sheridan Township. Almost 100% of Lorenzo's body had been burned, but there was little damage to the shed itself. He was flown to U of M Hospital in Ann Arbor but did not make it. Detectives are now looking into whether the fire was an accident or intentionally set, and they're interviewing people that Lorenzo had been in contact with. If you live in Battle Creek and have been getting some discolored water out of the tap, you can blame the people who illegally opened fire hydrants over the weekend. City Utilities Director Ken Coase says that about 20 hydrants were illegally opened by people who were looking to cool off over the holiday weekend, and that put a strain on the city's water supply. When the supply went down, the pumps shut off and some of the iron in the pipes came loose. Now, the water isn't dangerous, but if you're doing whites in the wash, well, it could cause a problem. It's recommended that you run the water for 10 minutes to make sure it is clean and clear. You also might want to flush out your water heater. 19 people, at least 13 of them children, were killed after a fire erupted at a nursery in the country of Qatar today. The nursery is housed in a mall which bills itself as the newest and largest entertainment center in Doha, which is the capital of Qatar. It features a theme park, gondola rides, a skating rink, movie theater, and more. Fire and rescue crews were hampered by the fire's intense heat and thick smoke, as well as a collapsed ceiling. A relative of one of the victims said that it appeared there were no fire alarms or sprinklers in the mall. 17 others were injured in the blaze. Most of them were firefighters. It's a film that's being shot completely in West Michigan, but the producers need to fill their cast. When and where you can attend the open casting call for Finding Home. Perhaps, Kevin Craig, Taylor Kitsch could get a spot in that movie. And don't worry if you don't know who he is, because I only know because she reminds me.
Ah, gotcha. Do they need a meteorologist or somebody to fill in?
Well, bring your headshot tomorrow. You know Doty knows to bring it on.
Don't just, lock yourself into that, Kevin. You can play a lot of
anything from A to Z.
Yes.
All righty.
And thanks. For the second time in a week, a hotel on 28th Street has been robbed. This time it was the Ramada Inn in Kentwood, and police need your help in trying to find the suspect. The robbery happened just before 4 a.m. The hotel at the intersection of 28th and the East Belt Line. Grand Rapids Police Department tells us they brought in a canine unit after a man implied he had a weapon under his shirt. No weapon was actually seen during the robbery, but the guy got away with about $300 cash. Police are looking for a 6-foot-tall, light-skinned black man who is wearing a dark gray hoodie with a black nylon over his face. If you have any information that could help lead to an arrest, call Silent Observer at the number on your screen. As we said, this is the second hotel robbery in the Kentwood area in the last few days. The Homewood Suites on Stall near 28th was robbed last week at knife point. The recent hotel robberies in Kentwood and Grand Rapids appear to be the work of one man, and police are now on the lookout for him. The guy's doing his work in the early morning hours and implying that he has a weapon before he gets away with a few $100 in cash. The latest incident happened yesterday morning at the Ramada Inn on 28th Street. A similar robbery happened last Tuesday at the Homewood Suites. Nobody's been hurt in any of the robberies, but they still want to get this guy. He's described as a black male between 5'10" and 6 feet tall, 180 to 190 pounds. He's worn a dark hoodie with something over his face in all of the robberies. Has also carried a reusable black grocery bag with white lettering on it. If you have any information, call Silent Observer, the Kentwood Police, or GRPD. Troopers are also still looking for a man who they say led police on a chase down US 131 and caused a head-on crash in Montcalm County. 35-year-old Alan Phelps was pulled over by a trooper last Wednesday but took off, going south in the northbound lanes and eventually crashing head-on into another car. The trooper following him stopped to help the other car involved, and Phelps got away again. State police received tips about him being near 4 Mile Road and Northland Drive in Mecosta County, but so far they haven't been able to catch up with him. Call the Montcalm County Sheriff's Department at the number on your screen if you have any information.
Well, beginning in just a few minutes, parents in the Muskegon High School District will get a chance to learn more about the future of their children's education.
Starting in the fall, the entire district will become a charter school system. It's the first of its kind in our state, and you can see why there'd be a lot of questions. Fox 17's Dave Spencer is in the Heights tonight with more. Dave. There is good news as crews in the UP continue to battle wildfires that have burned about 25,000 acres in the past week. The smaller fire at the Senior National Wildlife Refuge is nearly contained. The Federal Wildlife Service reports that as of yesterday evening, the blaze was 95% contained and that some crews and equipment are now being sent home. The DNR says that the other larger fire at Duck Lake is 47% contained. The estimated size at just under 22,000 acres. Strong winds yesterday slowed the progress of the firefighters. Of the 134 properties in the fire zone, 99 have now been inspected. If you own property in the area, you are asked to call and leave your contact information with the DNR so they can check on damage. Displaced residents as well as firefighting crews in the Upper Peninsula are in need of supplies and day-to-day necessities like toiletries, Gatorade, energy bars, and bananas. Lots and lots of bananas as each crew member is eating 2 per day. They don't want any food items, by the way, that can melt. Also of major need, socks and moleskin shoe liners as well as bandanas. If you want to donate, you can give to the Superior Upper Peninsula chapter of the Red Cross as well as the Duck Lake Fire Help Center. Police in Hastings find a car heavily damaged and abandoned on the side of the road with the engine still running. They tracked down the owner and he is now in jail. It happened just before 4 a.m. last Saturday. Police ran the plates on the car and went to the owner's house. When they got there, they found Matthew James Vincent. He said he remembered crashing into something but couldn't remember what or where. What turned out to be several mailboxes, and where was East State Street as well as several other spots in the area. Vincent blew a .217 and was arrested.